The team battle began. The Moktai charged forward, running straight down the main street of the fake town. All 6 aliens moved together like a wave of claws and armor. June, Sue, and Tai were nowhere to be seen. "Where are the humans?" clicked one Moktai to another. "Are they hiding?" "They fear us," said another. "Let's find them and show them real power." The Moktai team split into 3 groups. 2 aliens went left, 2 went right, and 2 continued down the middle. They searched the buildings, broke down doors, and looked behind walls. But they found no humans. June waited on top of the tallest building. From there, he could see all the Moktai groups. He spoke quietly into his radio. "Sue, take the pair on the left. Tai, get ready for the middle pair. I'll handle the right." Sue was hiding in a small space between 2 buildings. She saw the 2 Moktai coming. They were looking in windows, not above them. Sue took out her sound device and turned it on. A high sound filled the air. The Moktai couldn't hear it, but they could feel it. It made their heads hurt. They put their hands over their head holes and looked around in pain. Sue jumped down behind them. She touched each one with her marker, a stick that left blue paint. In the rules, blue paint meant killed. The Moktai turned to fight, but it was too late. They were already dead. "First 2 down," Sue said into her radio. Her voice was calm, her breathing normal. Across town, Ta waited inside a building. He had set a trap. A rope lay across the floor, connected to a large net hanging from the ceiling. When the middle pair of Moktai entered the building, Ta pulled the rope. The net fell, catching both aliens. "Middle pair caught," said Ta. "Good," said June. "Mark them and move to the flag." The last pair of Moktai reached the human base. They found it empty. "Where is their flag?" one asked. "I don't know," said the other. "But where are the humans? We should have found them by now." Suddenly, they heard a sound behind them. They turned and saw June standing there. "Looking for this?" he asked, holding up the Moktai flag. The aliens roared and charged at him. June didn't run. He waited until they were close, then threw something on the ground. It was a small ball that broke open and spread a slippery oil. The Moktai slipped and fell hard. Before they could get up, June marked them with blue paint. "All Moktai fighters eliminated," said a voice over the speakers. "Humans win the team battle." Commander Krizek could not believe it. He watched the videos again. "How did they do it?" he asked. "They didn't fight with strength or speed. They barely fought at all. They fought with their brains," said the Moktai scientist. "Look at their faces." He pointed to close-up videos of Sue, Tai, and June. No fear, no rage, no blood rush. They are cold. They kill without feeling. Krizek watched Sue's face as she eliminated 2 Moktai fighters. Her expression never changed. Her hands never shook. She might have been solving a math problem, not fighting for her life. "This is not natural," said Krizek. "All predators feel the thrill of the hunt, the joy of the kill." "Not these predators," said the scientist. "They kill with their minds, not their instincts." On the field, June and his team stood waiting. The score was now Moktai 5, humans 3. They had lost the competition, but they had made their point. Commander Krizek walked up to June. For the first time, he seemed unsure. "You fight like no species we have ever met," he said. "You don't use your emotions in battle. You don't feel the blood rush. How can you be effective warriors without these things?" "Emotions cloud judgment," said June. "Instinct is unpredictable. Humans learned long ago that clear minds make better decisions." "But the thrill of combat," started Krizek. "Is a weakness," finished June. "It makes you take risks. It makes you miss details." Krizek was silent for a long time. Then he said, "I must speak with my leaders. Wait here." As Krizek walked away, Minji came up to June. "The Moktai fleet has stopped moving," she said. "They're holding position." "Good," said June. I think we've given them something to think about. The room was silent as Captain Jun Kim told Earth's leaders about the Moktai challenge. They want to test us, Jun said, to see how we fight. General Han banged his fist on the table. It's a trap. They want to learn our weaknesses before they attack. Or, said Dr. Minji Kang, the top scientist, this is how they decide if we are worth fighting or worth becoming friends with. The Secretary General looked at Jun. What do you think, Captain? I think we have no choice, Jun said. If we say no, they will think we are scared. That might make them attack anyway. Then we must win, said the Secretary General. Jun shook his head. No, we must show who we really are. If we try to fight like them, we will lose. We must fight like humans. The next day, Jun met with Commander Krizek to set the rules for the competition. 5 tests, Krizek said. First, strength. Second, speed. Third, fighting with no weapons. Fourth, fighting with simple weapons. Fifth, a team battle. Jun nodded. We accept. But we would like to add 3 more tests. Shooting targets from far away. Solving battle problems with your mind. And a surprise test that neither side knows about until the day. Krizek's eyes spun in different directions, showing confusion. Why these strange tests? They do not show who is the better warrior. They show who is the better soldier, Jun said calmly. After much clicking and hissing, Krizek agreed. Back at the Earth Defense Base, Jun picked his team. First was Sue Park, a quiet woman who could hit any target with any gun. Next was Hyun Lee, who could make or fix any weapon. Last was Ta Quan, who knew 6 ways to fight and never lost his cool. Why did you pick us? Hyun asked. The army has stronger soldiers. I did not pick you for strength, Jun said. I pick you for your minds. The Moktai fight with anger and instinct. We will fight with calm and thinking. For 1 week, they trained. They watched videos of the Moktai fighting each other. They learned how the aliens moved, how they attacked, what made them angry. They always attack first, Ta said. They never wait. And they get mad when they miss. Sue added. When they get mad, they make mistakes. Their shells are hard, Hyun said, but the joints where their arms connect are soft. The night before the competition, Jun could not sleep. He walked outside and looked at the stars. He felt the weight of Earth on his shoulders. A voice spoke behind him. You are worried. It was Minji, the scientist. I am, Jun admitted. What if we lose? Minji stood next to him. It's not about winning or losing. It's about showing them who we are. And who are we? Jun asked. We are the species that went from throwing rocks to walking on the moon in a blink of time, she said. We are the animals who stopped using instinct and started using our minds. We don't fight because we have to. We fight because we choose to. Jun smiled. Thank you for reminding me. The next morning, Jun and his team stood ready at the competition field. Thousands of people watched from far away. The Moktai team looked like living weapons with their sharp claws and hard shells. Commander Krizek stepped forward. Today we see who is the better warrior. The strong will win. The weak will learn their place. Jun stepped forward too. Today we learn from each other. And you will see that there are many kinds of strength. The first test was simple. Lift heavy things. The Moktai warrior lifted 3 times what the strongest human could lift. The alien crowd clicked happily. First test to the Moktai, announced Krizek. As everyone expected, Jun was not worried. He knew what was coming next. He saw Sue check her gun, Hyun adjust his tools, and Tai take slow, deep breaths. The Moktai thought this competition was about showing strength, but humans would show them something they had never seen before. The second test was speed. A simple race across the field, around 3 poles, and back to the start line. Tai Quan, the fastest human on the team, took his place at the starting line. Next to him stood a thin Moktai with long legs. When the signal sounded, they ran. The Moktai was faster, much faster. It reached the finish line while Tai was still turning around the last pole. "Second test to the Moktai," announced Krizek. His eyes spun with pleasure. "Your kind is slow, Captain Kim." "We are," agreed June. "But the race is not always won by the fastest." The third test was fighting without weapons. Ta stepped into the ring. His opponent was a Moktai with 4 strong arms, each ending in sharp claws. The alien attacked first, as they had expected. Ta moved to the side, letting the Moktai rush past him. Again and again, the alien attacked. Again and again, Ta dodged. "Fight back," shouted the Moktai commander. "Stop running." Ta did not reply. He kept moving, kept watching, kept waiting. The Moktai fighter got angry. Its attacks became wilder, less careful. Then Ta saw his chance. As the Moktai rushed forward, Ta dropped to the ground and kicked up hard at the soft joint where the alien's leg met its body. The Moktai fell with a loud cry. But it was not enough. The alien got up and grabbed Ta with its 4 arms. The fight was over quickly after that. "Third test to the Moktai," said Krizek. "You cannot match our natural weapons." The fourth test was fighting with simple weapons. Hyun Lee chose a long staff. The Moktai fighter chose a short, heavy club. This fight went much like the last. The Moktai was stronger and had more arms to attack with. Hyun landed some good hits, but in the end, he lost 2. "Fourth test to the Moktai," said Krizek. His voice was full of pride now. "We lead 4-0. Do you wish to stop now and save your pride, Captain Kim?" "No," said June calmly. "We will continue." The next test, his marksmanship. This test was simple. Hit targets at different distances. Some targets stood still. Others moved. The Moktai went first. Their fighter hit 7 out of 10 targets. The alien crowd clicked their approval. Then Supark stepped up. She held her rifle with gentle hands. Her face showed no emotion. Her breathing was slow and even. She hit the first target, and the second, and the third. Every shot was perfect. When moving targets appeared, she did not rush. She watched, aimed, and fired. 10 out of 10 targets fell. The alien crowd went silent. "Impossible," said Krizek. "No one hits all targets." "Sukan," said June. "She does not shoot with anger or excitement. She shoots with math and calm." "Let us try a harder test," said Krizek. He sounded worried now. They set up smaller targets farther away. The Moktai fighter missed most of them. Su hit everyone. "Fifth test to the humans," Krizek said at last. His voice was stiff. The sixth test was solving battle problems. Each team was given a map and a problem: how to capture a hill with the fewest losses. The Moktai plan was simple: rush forward with most fighters while a few attacked from the sides. The human plan was different. First, find out where the enemy's weapons were. Then, use long-range guns to destroy those weapons. Next, send a small team at night to cut off the enemy's water. Last, wait until the enemy was weak before attacking. "This plan would take days," complained Krizek. "Yes," said June, "and it would save many lives." "But where is the glory in such a slow fight?" asked Krizek. "There is no glory in war," said June. "Only in victory with the least death." The judges gave this test to the humans. At the end of the day, the score was Moktai 4, humans 2. But the aliens were not happy anymore. They looked at the humans with new eyes. Especially at Su, who had hit every target without once changing her calm face. "We will continue tomorrow," said Krizek. "Be ready for the team battle and the surprise test." As they walked back to their base, Hyun said, "They're worried now. Did you see how they looked at Su?" June nodded. "They're starting to understand. Humans don't kill with instinct or anger. We kill with thought and precision. and that scares them more than any show of strength. The giant ship appeared in the sky without warning. It hung above Seoul like a dark cloud, blocking the sun. People stopped in the streets to look up. Some ran in fear. Others took pictures. Captain Jung Kim stood on the roof of the United Earth Defense Force headquarters. He watched the alien ship through his binoculars. His hands did not shake, but his heart beat fast. "Sir, the world leaders are waiting for you," said Sue, his assistant. She held the door open for him. June nodded and followed her down to the meeting room. 50 screens showed the faces of presidents, prime ministers, and generals from around the world. They all looked worried. "Captain Kim, you will speak for Earth," said the Secretary General. "You have the most training for this situation." June did not feel ready, but he said, "Yes, sir. I understand." 3 hours later, June stood in a large empty field. 10 soldiers stood behind him. They all wore their best uniforms with no weapons. The alien ship now hovered just 100 meters above them. It made no sound. A beam of blue light shot down from the ship. When it faded, 5 creatures stood on the grass. They looked like giant ants that walked on 2 legs. They had hard shells that shone like metal and 4 arms with sharp claws. Their heads had large eyes that moved in different directions. The middle alien stepped forward. It was bigger than the others and wore a red mark on its shell. "I am Hive Commander Krizek of the Moktai Empire," it said in perfect English. Its voice sounded like rocks grinding together. "We have conquered 17 star systems. We come to evaluate Earth." June bowed slightly. "I am Captain Jung Kim of the United Earth Defense Force. We welcome peaceful visitors." The alien's eyes rotated to look June up and down. "You are the warrior leader. You look weak. No claws, no armor." June kept his face calm. "Humans have different strengths." The aliens clicked their mouthparts together. June guessed this was laughter. "We will see," said Krizek. "We request a base to study your world. We will stay for 30 days. The world leaders had already agreed to this. "We have prepared a place for you," said June. For the next week, June met with the aliens every day. They asked many questions about Earth's weapons, armies, and wars. June answered carefully, never telling lies but not revealing too much. One day, Krizek invited June to their ship. Inside, screens showed battles from human history. "Your fighting makes no sense," said Krizek. "You plan too much. Real warriors feel the blood rage and attack. Humans prefer to think before we fight," said June. Krizek made the clicking sound again. "Thinking slows the warrior. We Moktai are born knowing how to kill. It is in our blood." To show what he meant, Krizek ordered 2 of his soldiers to fight. They attacked each other with terrible speed and strength. They ripped and tore with their claws until one lay bleeding on the floor. The winner stood panting, eyes wild with excitement. "This is true combat," said Krizek proudly. "Your human soldiers could never match this power." June watched calmly. "Perhaps not in this way," he said. That night, June reported to Earth's leaders. "The Moktai are dangerous," he said. "They value strength above all. They see our careful approach as weakness." "What do you recommend?" asked the Secretary General. June thought for a moment. "They need to see what humans can really do. If they think we're weak, they might attack. We should accept their challenges but do it our way." The next morning, when June arrived for the daily meeting, Krizek was waiting with a new offer. "Captain Kim, my leaders are curious about human warriors. We propose a series of friendly competitions between our soldiers to learn from each other." June knew this was no friendly offer. It was a test. But it was also a chance. "We accept," said June. "When do we begin?" 1 month later, Captain Jung Kim stood in the large meeting room of the United Earth Defense Force headquarters. Around him sat the leaders of Earth's nations. Across from them sat Commander Krizek and 5 other Moktai officials. "The treaty is ready," said the Secretary General. "Both sides have agreed to the terms." June looked at the document on the screen. It laid out the details of the new alliance between Earth and the Moktai Empire. Humans would share their technology and training methods. The Moktai would provide spaceships and protection. But more important than these things was the sharing of knowledge. Humans would teach the Moktai about control and precision. The Moktai would teach humans about their natural strength and quick instincts. "Before we sign," said Commander Krizek, "I would like to show you something." The lights dimmed, and a screen lit up on the wall. It showed a star map with hundreds of tiny lights. "This is our galaxy," said Krizek. "The blue lights are peaceful worlds. The green are Moktai worlds. The red—" He paused. "The red are worlds taken by the Vec Dominion." There were many red lights. Too many. "The Vec are machines," Krizek continued. "They believe organic life is inefficient and should be replaced by machines. When they take a world, they kill all living things and turn the planet into a factory to make more Vec." "How do they fight?" asked Jun. "Like you," said Krizek. "Cold, precise, without emotion. But they have no mercy, no ability to see value in any life but their own." The room was quiet as everyone looked at the map. "We have fought the Vec for 50 years, said Krizek. "We lose more worlds than we save. Our way of fighting, with rage and instinct, does not work well against their mathematical precision." "And you think humans can help?" asked the Secretary General. "Yes," said Krizek. "You fight with the precision of machines but the wisdom of living things. This combination is what we need." After the treaty was signed, Jean took Krizek to visit Hyun Lee in the hospital. Hyun was sitting up in bed, his chest still wrapped in bandages. "I hear we're friends with the Moktai now," said Hyun with a small smile. "Yes," said Jun. "Commander Krizek wanted to see you." The alien stepped forward awkwardly. "I am sorry for what happened to you," he said. "The warrior who hurt you has been punished." "It's okay," said Hyun. "I understand why it happened." "You do?" asked Krizek, surprised. "Yes," said Hyun. "You wanted to see how humans react to pain and threat. You wanted to see our instincts." Krizek's eyes spun slowly. "And instead, we saw your control." "Exactly," said Hyun. "That's the human way." Later, Jun and his team watched as the first group of human soldiers boarded a Moktai ship. They would train together, these two different kinds of warriors, learning from each other. "Do you think it will work?" asked Sue. "Can they learn to fight like us? Can we learn from them?" "I think so," said Jun. "Different doesn't mean incompatible. It can mean complementary." Minji joined them, carrying a tablet. "The first reports from the Vec front are coming in," she said. "The Moktai are already trying some of our tactics. They're having some success." "And the joint training?" asked Ta. "Early days," said Minji, "but promising. The Moktai are amazed by our control. Our soldiers are impressed by their natural abilities." Jun looked up at the sky. Somewhere up there, humans and aliens were learning to work together. Each species had evolved differently, developed different ways of fighting and surviving. But now they were sharing those differences, becoming stronger together. "When the Moktai first arrived," said Jun, "they thought our way of fighting was a weakness. They couldn't understand how a predator could kill without rage, without instinct." "And now?" asked Sue. "Now they understand," said Jun. "Humans kill with precision, not instinct. And that precision might just save both our species from the machines." As the sun set, Jun thought about the strange path that had led here. The Moktai had come to test Earth for conquest. Instead, they had found allies against a greater threat. Sometimes, understanding your differences was the first step toward working together. And sometimes, what looked like weakness was actually the greatest strength of all. Before the team battle could begin, Commander Krizek suggested something new. "Let us train together first," he said. "My warriors and yours, learning from each other. Then we will know each other better before the real battle." Jun did not trust this sudden friendly offer, but he could not say no without seeming afraid. "We accept," he said. "We will train together for 2 hours, then rest before the team battle." The training area was a large field with fake buildings and trees. The humans and Moktai were mixed together in groups. Each group had to run through the field, shoot targets, and work together to solve problems. Hyunli was in a group with 3 Moktai. The aliens moved fast, rushing to each target without stopping to plan. Hyun tried to keep up. "Slow down," he called to them. "We should check if the targets shoot back before we rush in." The Moktai ignored him. They ran around a corner, and suddenly a fake enemy appeared. The aliens shot it at once. "See, human," said one Moktai. "Speed wins, not thinking." Hyun frowned. But if that had been a real enemy with real... He never finished his sentence. Another Moktai ran into the area, moving very fast. It carried a heavy metal pole for the next part of the training. But it did not slow down. It swung the pole as it turned, and the pole hit Hyun hard in the chest. Hyun fell to the ground, not moving. Blood came from his mouth. "Help!" shouted one of the Moktai. "The human is broken." Jun and the others ran to Hyun. Sue checked his breathing. "His ribs are broken," she said. "One has gone into his lung." The Moktai who had hit Hyun stood nearby. "I did not see him," it said. "It was an accident." But Jun saw the way its eyes moved. It was lying. Minji arrived with the medical team. They put Hyun on a stretcher and took him away. "Will he live?" Jun asked. "Yes," said Minji, "but he cannot fight anymore today." Commander Krizek walked up to Jun. "A sad accident," he said. "We will delay the team battle until tomorrow so your fighter can heal." "No," said Jun. "We will continue today with 3 fighters instead of 4. Krizek's eyes spun in surprise. "But you will lose with only 3. "Maybe," said Jun. "But we don't run from a fight just because the odds are bad." As the aliens walked away, Ta whispered to Jun, "That was no accident. The Moktai hit Hyun on purpose." "I know," said Jun. "They wanted to see how we would react." "They wanted to make us angry," said Sue, "to see if we would attack them with rage." "Yes," said Jun. "And when we didn't, they became even more confused." Back in the medical room, Jun visited Hyun. His friend lay in bed with machines helping him breathe. "I'm sorry," Hyun said weakly. "I let the team down." "No," said Jun. "You showed us something important. The Moktai are getting desperate. They don't understand us, so they're trying to force us to show something they can understand." "Be careful," said Hyun. "I saw the Moktai's eyes when it hit me. It wanted to hurt me." Jun nodded. "We'll be careful." When Jun returned to the field, Commander Krizek was waiting. "Your fighter will live?" he asked. "Yes," said Jun. "And we're ready for the team battle." "Good," said Krizek. "But first, let me explain the surprise test." He pointed to a large metal box. "Inside this box is a creature from our world. It is dangerous, but not deadly. Each team will send 1 fighter into the box. The fighter must catch the creature with only their hands. The faster team wins." "What kind of creature?" asked Jun. "One that moves very fast and has a painful bite," said Krizek. "It will test your instincts and your courage." Jun knew this was another trap. The Moktai wanted to see a human act with fear and anger, like an animal. "Sue will go in for us," Jun said. Krizek looked surprised. "The small female, not you or the strong male." "Sue is our best choice," said Jun. Sue stepped forward, her face calm as always. The Moktai fighter clicked its mouthparts, as if laughing at her. The doors to the metal box opened. It was time for the surprise test. That night, while the humans slept, the Moktai scientists studied videos of the day's contests. They played Sue's shooting test over and over. "It is not natural," said one scientist. "No living thing should be so still when hunting." "Perhaps they are not what they seem," said another. "Perhaps they hide their true nature." Commander Krizek watched the videos with his 4 eyes spinning in thought. "Show me videos of human wars," he ordered. The scientists showed him battles from human history, ancient armies with swords and spears, modern soldiers with guns and tanks, special forces sneaking through jungles. "See how they move," said Krizek. "Always in groups, always with plans. They fight like a machine, not like living things." He clicked his mouthparts in frustration. "But why? All hunters feel the blood rush when they kill. It is the way of nature." "Maybe they are hiding something," said the head scientist. "Maybe they have a secret power they do not show us." Krizek stood up suddenly. "Or maybe they are lying about what they are. Maybe they are not the soft, weak creatures they appear to be." Meanwhile, at the human base, Jun could not sleep. He went to the computer room where Minji Kang was working late. "What are you doing?" Jun asked. Minji looked up from her screen. "I'm checking the records of other planets the Moktai have visited." "And what did you find?" Minji's face was serious. 17 systems visited. 17 systems conquered or forced into alliances. These competitions aren't friendly games, Jun. They're tests. The Moktai use them to decide whether to fight a species or make them allies. Jun felt cold inside. What happens to those who fail the tests? "They become slaves," Minji said. "The Galtar people from the 5th system lost their competitions. Now they work in Moktai mines. And those who win become junior partners in the Moktai Empire. Still not free, but not slaves either." Jun looked at the ceiling. "So we're fighting for Earth's freedom." "Yes," said Minji. "But there's more. Look at this." She showed him pictures of Moktai ships in space near Earth. "They have more ships hiding behind the moon. Many more." "An invasion fleet," Jun whispered. "I think so," Minji said. "They're ready if we fail their tests." The next morning, Jun told his team the truth. "So no pressure," Hyun said with a small smile. "Just save the world." "We need to win the next 2 tests," Jun said. "The team battle and the surprise test." "How can we prepare for a surprise test?" asked Ta. "We can't," said Jun, "but we can guess what they value. They respect strength, speed, and fighting skill. They are confused by our precision and planning. The surprise test will probably be something that tests our instincts, not our minds." "So we need to show we have good instincts too?" asked Sue. "No," said Jun. "We need to show that our way, the human way, is different but just as effective. Maybe more effective." When they arrived at the competition field, Commander Krizek was waiting with his team. His eyes moved strangely, and his voice sounded different. "Today we finish the competition," he said. "But first, we want to understand humans better. How do you fight without the blood rush? How do you kill without hate?" "We don't need hate to fight," Jun explained. "We fight when we must, not because we enjoy it." Krizek clicked his mouthparts. "You must be hiding your true nature. All hunters feel the joy of the kill." "Humans are not just hunters," said Jun. "We are thinkers too." "We will see your true nature soon," said Krizek. He sounded sure. "The team battle will show who you really are." As they prepared for the team battle, Hyun whispered to Jun, "He thinks we're lying about what we are." "Yes," said Jun. "And that makes him dangerous. He's looking for something that isn't there. When he doesn't find it, he might decide we're hiding it on purpose." "What can we do?" asked Ta. "We show him exactly what humans are," said Jun. "No more, no less, and we hope he understands before it's too late." Commander Krizek was gone for 1 hour. During that time, Jun and his team waited quietly. Minji kept checking her computer for news of the Moktai fleet. "They're still not moving," she said, "but they haven't left either." "They're waiting for orders," said Jun. "Everything depends on what Krizek tells his leaders." Finally, the alien commander returned. He walked slowly, his eyes moving in different patterns than before. "Captain Kim," he said, "I would like to speak with you alone." Jun looked at his team, then nodded. "All right." They walked to a small building at the edge of the field. Inside was a simple room with 2 chairs. They sat facing each other. "My leaders are confused," said Krizek. "They have watched all the competitions. They have studied how you fight. They do not understand." "What don't they understand?" asked June. "How you can be effective warriors without the battle rage," said Krizek. "All species we have met before fight with their blood, their instincts. They feel the rush of combat. But your people," his voice trailed off. "We feel emotions," said June. "But we control them. We don't let them control us." Krizek's eyes spun slowly. "May I tell you about my people?" "Please," said June. "We evolved from hive hunters," said Krizek. "Our ancestors hunted in large groups, driven by smells called pheromones. When one Moktai begins to fight, these pheromones make others fight too. It creates a wave of battle rage that cannot be stopped." "You can't control it?" asked June. "No," said Krizek. "When the rage comes, we must fight until it is gone. It makes us strong, but," he hesitated, "it also makes us predictable." June understood now. "And humans are not predictable to you." "No," agreed Krizek. "Your fighter Sue killed 2 of my best warriors without changing her breathing. She felt nothing. She just did it, like closing the door or picking up a cup." "She felt things," said June. "But she didn't let those feelings affect her actions. That's how humans fight." "But why would evolution create a predator like this?" asked Krizek. "A predator that does not enjoy the kill." "Because humans evolved differently," explained June. "We were not the strongest or fastest animals on our planet. We couldn't rely on natural weapons, so we developed our minds instead. We learned to plan, to make tools, to work together in ways that didn't depend on instinct." Krizek was silent for a long time. Then he said, "I think I understand now. You are not like us, but that doesn't make you weak. It makes you different." "Yes," said June. "Different, not better or worse." "My leaders have made a decision," said Krizek. "We will not attack Earth." June felt relief wash over him, but he kept his face calm. "I'm glad to hear that." "There is more," said Krizek. "We would like to propose an alliance." "An alliance?" June was surprised. "Even though we lost the competition showed us something important," said Krizek. "Your way of fighting, calm, planned, precise, is very different from ours, and that could be useful." "Useful against what?" asked June. Krizek's eyes darted around, as if checking for listeners. "There is another species out there. They are called the Vec Dominion. They are machines, not living things. They think like you, cold, precise, without emotion. Our way of fighting does not work well against them." "And you think our way might work better?" asked June. "Yes," said Krizek. "Your human precision against their machine precision. And perhaps," he paused, "perhaps you could teach us some of your control." "I think we could," said June. "And perhaps you could teach us some of your strength." Krizek stood up. "I will tell my leaders we should be friends, not enemies." As they walked back to the others, June thought about how strange life was. The Moktai had come to test if humans were worth conquering. Instead, they had found humans were worth knowing. When they reached the others, Minji ran up to June. "The fleet is moving," she said, her voice worried. "But they're not coming toward Earth. They're leaving." "Yes," said June. "They're going home. And soon, they'll be back, not as invaders, but as allies." The metal box was dark inside. Sue stood still and let her eyes adjust. She heard something moving in the shadows. It sounded fast and angry. Outside the box, June watched on a screen. The Moktai had put small cameras inside. Everyone could see what happened. The Moktai fighter went first. It charged into the box, all 4 arms ready to grab. The creature, a 6-legged thing with sharp teeth, jumped at the alien. The Moktai roared and caught it, but the creature bit hard and green blood flowed from the alien's arm. The Moktai screamed in rage and smashed the creature against the wall. Finally, it carried the hurt but still living creature out of the box. Time, 46 seconds, announced Krizek proudly. Now let us see the human. Sue entered the box. The second creature was already angry because it heard the first fight. It jumped at Sue right away. But she didn't try to catch it. She stepped to the side and let it land on the floor. What is she doing? Clicked a Moktai. Fight it. Sue didn't fight. She watched the creature move. She saw how it jumped, how it turned, where it liked to hide. For 2 minutes, she just studied it. This is not courage, said Krizek. She is afraid. No, said June. She is learning. After watching the creature, Sue took off her belt. She put it on the ground in a circle. Then she took a small piece of food from her pocket and put it in the circle. The creature smelled the food. It moved closer, then jumped into the circle to grab the food. Quick as light, Sue pulled the ends of the belt and closed the circle. The creature was caught. She picked up the belt with the creature inside and walked out of the box. Time, 3 minutes and 12 seconds, said Krizek. The Moktai win again. But look at your fighter and look at Sue, said June. Who is hurt? Who is calm? Who is in control? The Moktai fighter was still angry, still bleeding. Sue handed the creature to the aliens without any sign of fear or excitement. The test is not just about time, said June. It's about how you solve the problem. Before Krizek could answer, a message came to him. He listened, then looked at June with all 4 eyes. We will take a break before the team battle, he said. 1 hour. When the aliens left, Minji ran up to June. I have news, she said. Bad news. The Moktai ships behind the moon are moving. They're getting into attack position. How long do we have? Asked June. Maybe 2 hours, said Minji. They're waiting for the end of the competition. Then we must win the team battle, said Ta. But how? We only have 3 people, and they have 6. We use what makes us human, said June. Planning, tools, and precision. They went to the preparation room. June showed them his plan for the team battle. It would be in a fake town. Each team had to capture the other team's flag. The Moktai will attack straight on, said June. They will try to overwhelm us with numbers and strength. But we'll be ready. How? Asked Sue. They're faster and stronger than us. June smiled. Minji has made something for us. He opened a box. Inside were 3 small devices. These are sound makers. They produce a high sound that hurts Moktai ears but not human ears. Is that fair? Asked Ta. The Moktai have natural armor and 4 arms, said June. We have human brains and human tools. That's fair. An hour later, they stood ready for the team battle. The fake town had 20 buildings, narrow streets, and many places to hide. The Moktai team looked eager to fight. Their eyes spun fast, and their claws opened and closed. This is the final test, said Commander Krizek. The most important one. Now we will see your true nature as warriors. June looked at his team. Sue checked her sound device. Ta stretched his legs, ready to run. Now, said June quietly, we show them what humans can really do. The signal sounded. The team battle began. What the Moktai didn't know was that Earth's future depended on the next 30 minutes. If the humans lost, the Moktai fleet would attack. If they won, well, June wasn't sure what would happen then. But he was sure of one thing. The Moktai were about to learn a hard lesson about humans.